After all the NIL deals that Bill Bumbleruski has gotten, Tennessee Vols has offered him a $5.1 million deal. And as you can see, Bill Bumbleruski made his commitment. With all good things, there always is a bad thing. Bill Bumbleruski was number 2 on that depth chart, so he had to prove to coach that he could be number 1 and go out and show them and take them to a national championship. Already being 5'11", he's already at a disadvantage throughout his whole lifetime, but Bill has always faced challenges, and guess what? He's going to take over, and as you can see, he will juke, get outside, and oh my God, spin move, breaking tackle. With a great practice coach, so you could challenge that next string next week. Going into Bill's first game in an SEC stadium, it was kind of unbelievable. I mean, this crowd and fan base was just amazing, and to not be on that field, Bill was kind of frustrated. But as you can see, his offense was getting stopped, and he wanted to go out there, so he sent him out there to hold the ball for the PAT, but Bill never got to touch the field, so he's going into the next practice. Going into the next practice, Bill Bumbleruski get the challenge against Joe Milton III, and he said he was not coming out here to play. And I mean, just look at that, juking and weaving and making all of these defenders miss to get to that end zone. I mean, this guy's different, mama. But as you can see, Bumbleruski rolls out of that pocket, punk fakes, and then throws a dot to Keaton, and he go ahead and win the position battle right there. But he said he wants to throw one more dot for his wide receiver to take it for 6. He is now the number 1 QB on the depth chart. Being named the starter in our next game against Western Kentucky University, I mean, Bill Bumbleruski threw a dot to start the game off. He didn't get in that end zone, but we got a read option on that goal line to take it in for 6. I mean, Reed and Western Kentucky defense, they were running some kind of cover 2 zone, so I said I was going to eat the middle alive, and I'm also going to eat those flats up. But as you can see, I ran it outside, and he could and he would take it to the crib and got up and celebrated with his teammate. Getting back on the sideline and watching that defense rally that ball with the sack, I was just fired up to get back on the field. And on 1st and 10, Bill Bumbleruski got out there sitting in that pocket, steps up in that pocket, and he's going to run it. Mama, he's going to get missing. Juke. Oh my God. And he was breaking tackles, but they rallied that ball. But on 1st and 10, he was sitting in the pocket, but he gets a little impatient and rolls out and could and he would bend that corner and go in for 6. But on 2nd and 10, he rolls out again and throws a dot all the way to McCoy, and he takes it to the crib. And as you can see, Bill Bumbleruski, a player of the game with 6 total TDs. After that great win, we're going into our next game against number 14 Oregon, and it's time to put the end of them, but they got a tackle for loss, and they were kind of fired up on us early on. But on 3rd and 7, Bill Bumbleruski couldn't find a target, so he absolutely stayed in that pocket, steps up, jukes, and was weaving, and oh my God, running over defenders. I mean, muscle up, son. But on 2nd and goal, Bill Bumbleruski comes outside and takes it in for 6. And on 1st and 10, he's sitting back in that pocket. Oh my God, he steps up with the launcher arm that he has and throws a dot to Squirrel. As we get the ball back and drop back down the field, Bill Bumbleruski loves his O-line. I mean, coming from UTSA, this is kind of a great change in getting a greater O-line. I mean, he absolutely can sit back in that pocket and do anything he wants, but he takes it in for 6 again, and we will go on to win the ball game. After another great win, we're faced to another big team that's one of our rivals, but as you can see, Bill Bumbleruski, juke, bam, oh my God, get out of my way. Bill will go all the way for 6 to start the game off, and that's a way to get the momentum early on. And we get the ball back, and Bill said he's gonna run the score up, so he throws a dot to Squirrel White. I'm not gonna lie, after those 2 plays, I would kind of give up, but Bill said he wasn't done just yet. On the read option, he takes that thing all the way to the house, and he was absolutely fired up. He said, I'm eating up, y'all boys suck. But as you can see, on 1st and 10, he rolls out, then he rolls back in, and he tries to run around this D lineman and gets sacked for a safety. That was a terrible play by Bill, but he said, I'll get it back, coach. He said he hits that sideline, and he could. Bam! Oh my God. One thing for sure and one thing for certain, Bill Bumbleruski will run through you. But we going with another one, and he is the game off of 5 total TDs. For our next game against USA, it was 1st and 10, and Bill rolls out of that pocket. That's one of his favorite things to do. He's a roll out of the pocket kind of quarterback, but he throws a dot to McCoy for a 33-yard reception. But on 1st and 10, he was sitting in that pocket, and he said he wants to run it. He breaks one tackle, bounces it back outside, and he said, I'm going to get it in this box, and dives for 6. Oh my God. But on 2nd and 10, he was sitting in that pocket again, and this D lineman absolutely came and sacked him, and he didn't like that at all. But after being sacked, there was only one way to react. I'm not getting sacked again, so he throws a dot to his wide receiver, Thornton Jr., and he could take that thing all the way to the house. But going into the next play, on 1st and 10, I didn't want to pitch the ball. I wanted it myself, so I said, I'm going to go all the way, but he pushes me out of bounds. And on 1st and 10, I said, the read option, they are biting on it every time, so just let me take that thing to the the crib, and Bill Bumbleruski will go all the way. And he was absolutely fired up with his teammates. But on 1st and 10, he absolutely rolls out of that pocket again. Juke, makes a miss, bounces it back out, and goes in with another rushing TD. He ends the game off with 7 total TDs. Going into our next game, one of the biggest games on our schedule. Number 1, Georgia. It's time to put an end to them because they are undefeated and we're undefeated, and we're going to be conference champs and we're going to be national champs. But on 2nd and goal, Bill Bumbleruski rolls out of pocket, breaks one tackle, breaks another one, let this number 13 get up and sack him for a negative 10-yard loss. But Bill Bumbleruski goes down, and they put Joe Milton III in, his backup, the one that Bumbleruski took the spot from in the first place. But on 1st and 10, I said, no, coach, I got to get back out there. I don't care if I'm hurt, but boom, I'm not letting him take my spot again. I'm going to show you that I got some fight in me, coach. But on 2nd and goal, he absolutely dunks on this defender. Oh my God, to go in for a 6. We're up 14-7. And as you can see on 4th and 9, I said I was not putting that ball, coach. I'm going to go get that first down and run him over because I'm strong. Sitting at 185, I will run through you. I'm not scared of you. And on 1st and 10, I absolutely had no D-line rushing me, so I had time, threw a dot to Webb. But on 3rd and 20, it's now 38-21, and oh my God, squirrel for 6. I get player of the game with 5 total TDs. After taking the big win against number 1 Georgia, they still kind of didn't give us our flowers. We're still ranked number 4, but it's okay because we're going to show South Carolina why they're just the statement game. We are going to run up stats against South Carolina. And on 2nd and 8, I step up in the pocket. Absolutely didn't have any targets to throw the ball to, so I bounce it back outside, and I'm just going to have a field day. I'm just going to run over kids and absolutely break tackles. But on 1st and 10, I throw a dot. Somehow, some way, I got it in there. That's what you call a thrower. But as you can see on 3rd and 25, I absolutely throw my first interception with the Tennessee Vols, and I just was kind of in distraught. I was mad at myself. After having a whole tantrum on the sideline, coach said, get it together. And I said, I got you, coach. So I run it in for 6 and say, let me get my mind right. And on 3rd and 10, Bumbleruski was sitting in the pocket. I mean, what are they? They got a contain on 2 sides and they're not blitzing anybody? So I'm going to dot you up. I mean, if you're not going to blitz me, I will sit in that pocket and find time to find a receiver that's going to get open. And on 2nd and 7, I was sitting in the pocket again. Look, they're scared of me. I throw absolutely a dot, and he could and he would go all the way for 6. I get player of the game again with 6 total TDs. On to our next game against one of the hardest stadiums to win a game, man. And we're going against Alabama, and they should have recruited me out of high school. This is one of my dream schools that Bill Bumbleruski wanted to go to, but they did not recruit me, so I'm going to make them pay for it. After we scored, they marched down and scored as well, but they missed the field goal attempt. But as you can see on 1st and 10, they sent a blitz after me, but I tried to run him over and fumbled the ball and got a turnover and gave them the ball, and they went down and scored. But on 1st and 10, I said I got to get my act together. They are blitzing like crazy, so I got to get that ball out of there quick. But on 1st and 10, I was sitting in a pocket again. My O-line's holding up, and guess what? I find Webb right in that end zone for 6. But on 1st and goal, I roll out of that pocket, and I could and I would get in the grip for 6. But on 1st and 10, I throw a dot, and we will go on and win the ball game. I get player of the game with 6 total TDs. You're taking wins after wins after wins. We're going against Mizzou, and oh my God, these white and orange uniforms are crazy, and Bumbleruski is even crazier. He takes it for 6 to get the game started off, and he was absolutely fired up. He said this is his house. And on 2nd and 10, scanning all of his targets, he found one right down the seam for 6. And on 1st and 10, he rolls out of the pocket again. I mean, every time he gets a blitz, he's going to roll out, so you better just watch out. And he absolutely runs out of bounds because he got tired. Getting down to the goal line, 1st and goal, he tried to run it in, but they absolutely stopped him. But he goes down injured again, and Joe Milton III goes in, and Bumbleruski doesn't like that. He comes off of that sideline and said, coach, put me in the game. Coach said, no, son, you're going to get your rest. And Joe Milton III sits in the pocket and finally makes the touchdown. I said, coach, I can't make him look good. He's not taking my spot back. And on 1st and 10, Bumbleruski got back in and absolutely goes insane. It's 35-21, and he's going to run right around that defender and going for 6, and he breaks the school rushing TD record with 19 TDs on the season already. Bumbleruski gets player of the game with 5 total TDs. On to our next game against Auburn. On 1st and 10, I absolutely thought I had a wide open receiver, but he deflected the ball. I don't think the Eagles came to play today. And on 1st and goal, I absolutely run it in. I absolutely hurdled over that kid. But on on 2nd and 10, absolutely O-line clamping up, juke, making him miss. Boom, get out of my way. I'm breaking tackles because I want to win. After we scored, the Auburn Eagles strike back. It's 7-7, and that D-line is rallying that ball. They get me for a sack, and on 2nd and 12, Bumbleruski sitting in that pocket and gets sacked again. He said he can't take it anymore. On 3rd and 18, he said, you don't want to block. Bam, get out of my way. I'm going to take over this whole game. And on 2nd and 10, he's sitting back in that pocket and throws a dot to McCoy, but he will get tackled. On 1st and goal, Bumbleruski rolls out of that pocket and comes back. I don't know why he came back, but he breaks 2 tackles. Oh my God. Throws a dot across the field to Jabari Small for 6. And on 3rd and 10, his screenplay was kind of clamped down, so he gets sacked again. And he said, I can't take this anymore. On 2nd and 10, that D-lineman's coming. He threw him to the ground and was clapping over him. But Bumbleruski said, guess what? I'm going to strike back. I'm not going to drop my head. You got me messed up. It being 35-17, we have to score quick. Bumbleruski throws a dot to McCoy and gets on that goal line and almost throws an interception. Come on, man. So that leads the PAT to the field, and they will kick 3. It's now 20-35. But we get that ball back. Our defense is just magnificent. But as you can see, I just throw it up. Bill Bumbleruski, oh my God, he catches it, and he could get to that goal line. But on 4th and 15, we just can't score, and they get a turnover downs. But we still got fight, and I throw a dot to Squirrel White for 6. We get that ball back. That defense is strapping down, and I absolutely throw a dot to Squirrel White again. And on 1st and 10, our defense is amazing. With 21 seconds left on that clock, I throw a dot to Thornton Jr. Gets us down to the goal line, and on 1st and 10, I absolutely throw it out of bounds and say, field goal, and they kick 3, and we win the game with a crazy comeback. Bill Bumbleruski gets player of the game with 4 total TDs. On to our next game against Vanderbilt. On 1st and 10, that offensive line absolutely was pancaking their whole defensive line, and I threw a dot to Squirrel White. This is my favorite target. He takes it for 6. And on 2nd and goal, I throw a crazy read option pitch. Somehow, some way, I got it out, and we go in with another one, and it's now 14-7. On 1st and 10, I said, I'm not going to scramble. I tricked you, and throw a dot to McCoy. Oh my God, stiff arm, and he could, oh my God, another stiff arm, and he takes it all the way to the crib. Vanderbilt isn't giving up. I mean, they went back down and scored, but guess what? We score again, Vanderbilt, so go score another one. But guess what? Oh my God, McCoy, wide open, and goes all the way for 6. I get player of the game with 5 total TDs. On to our next game against the University of Kentucky. Oh my God, Bill Bumbleruski breaking tackles, and he will get stopped on the 1-yard line, but on 2nd and goal, he will take it back in because he should have scored the first one, but it's all right. But on 1st and 10, he getting pressure and throws a dot to Small, and he goes all the way for a pretty big gain. And I give it to Small, my running back, another one. But on 1st and 10, as you can see, I roll out of that pocket. Oh my God, and this dude just absolutely manhandled me. Ripped the ball out and forced a fumble. But Bill Bumbleruski said he has to get it together. It's 21-21, and we cannot lose to the University of Kentucky. And on 1st and goal, I give it to Small again to go in for 6. But on 3rd and 15, I'm sitting in that pocket. I absolutely scrambled. Juke. Oh my God, where is he going? Catch your feet, brother. But on 3rd and 15, Bill Bumbleruski takes it for a 1st down. And we're going to win the game. He gets player of the game with 2 total TDs. Being a sophomore and going back-to-back to conference championships is amazing for Bill Bumbleruski. But oh my God, catches a dot. Squirrel White catches a long pass for Bumbleruski to start the game off. And Bumbleruski goes in for 6, but we're going against Arkansas. And it's time to beat them to go to that national championship back-to-back. But on 1st and 10, Bill Bumbleruski was sitting in the pocket, rolls out, and he would hit that sideline, and he could go all the way. Oh my God, this kid is crazy. But on 2nd and goal, he will punch it in for 6, and he was absolutely fired up. He told his teammates, this is my house. But he throws another dot. We're down by 7, and oh my God, on 1st and 10, Bill Bumbleruski runs him over, breaks our tackle, could run him over and get the first down. And on 2nd and goal, Bill rolls out of that pocket and punches it in for 6, and he was absolutely fired up. Thus, getting down to the 4th quarter, we absolutely took over, kneeled the ball, and we are conference champions. Bill Bumbleruski has did it again, mama. But as you can see, he did not win Heisman. How did he not win Heisman? Somehow, Raheem Sanders won it, and he will get it next year. With the sophomore going back-to-back champions, the newspaper said Tennessee Bumbleruski has prepared all his life for this moment. Going against USC on 1st and 10, Bill Bumbleruski is gonna win this national championship. He told them boys, y'all in for a good one, but he fumbles the ball. And I just hope the crowd wasn't wasn't just too big for him, and he just got into the moment and is gonna lose it all. But we got that ball back, and Bill Bumbleruski picked his head up through a dot and went in with 6 early on. And on 1st and 10, oh my God, he threw an interception with his 2nd turnover of the game. I mean, the stage is getting a little too big for Bill Bumbleruski, and he's getting under pressure, and it's 28-10, and he throws another interception. And oh my God, this is his 3rd turnover of the game. I mean, I don't know what's gotten into him, if he's scared or this team is just rallying the ball or what, but he said, you know what? I'm going to put my foot on that pedal and I'm not going to back down. Bill Bumbleruski throws a dot. We're now down 17-28, and guess what? Wewe're down 24-28. We're back. And on 1st and 10, he throws a dot to Jabari Small. And on 1st and 10, he gets down to that goal line and runs it in himself for 6. He said he's absolutely taking over. And on 1st and goal, oh my God, he gets sacked. He said, with 27 seconds, I'm not going out like this. McCoy 4-6, and we are national champions. We were not going to lose. And that's what you call a team with some fight in them. But this is the end of Bill Bumbleruski's sophomore season. Drop in the comments down below. Will he go back-to-back champions for the 3rd time in a row, or what is next for him?